the Democratic Party.
Yes, the money.
So it's the Democratic version of a neocon.
Yes,
okay?
he is a neocon. Oh God, yeah.
Oh no, he's not.
You don't think Biden's a neocon?
Nope.
You don't think if Hillary would have won, we would have been fucking in war with Syria? We would have been.
Of course we would have.
And you
but
think Biden's any fucking
that
different?
doesn't make him a conservative by any stretch of the imagination.
No. When I think of neocon, I'm thinking somebody who's a federalist. And there's
a
right
pure statist.
Not a pure statist in the sense. Yeah, that's a federalist.
Well, because they want centralized control, but they don't want communism.
Because communism would take their shit.
Well, communism would take all the money away from their supporters.
They can't have that. They
Right.
can't have communism taking their shit.
And that's the difference. And so, yeah, AOC and Biden are completely diametrically opposed. But Biden is hamstrung because the left has shifted so far.
Which is good.
And he's got to play that game.
This is good for America. The fact that the left has gone so far has pushed so many people what would be the center. Libertarianism, small government, stay the fuck out of my business. How the fuck are you shutting down churches and barbershops, but you're letting protests happen? And not just that, 2,000 scientists sign a fucking letter saying that protests are harm. They're not you're not
going to spread the disease.
You're not going to spread the disease. You're not going to spread the disease at a protest. You have to have a level of cognitive dissonance where you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I believe that. Or you have to look at it at face value, and people can't do it. Looking at face value is a racist. Speaking of which, before we keep continuing, I need to try that good beer.
Can't leave the box, dude. These people live in a box. The box is their entire world. And if they get to the edge of the box, they stay there. They don't look up over the top and see what else might be there.
Lemmings.
Yeah.
Fucking useful idiots is the better term, because that's exactly what they are to Marxism and communism. They're useful idiots.
Yeah.
I mean, on the right side, there was a whole bunch of useful idiots. Anger, rage, and it's
McCain.
Yeah, the McCains. A neocon. And now, in reality, if I discuss immigration, I'm not a bigot. Why are we importing even one person when there's one out-of-work American? Even one. All immigration should be halted for that year.
No, because they'll do the jobs Americans won't do.
That's bullshit. They'll do the jobs America won't do for low pay. If now what it would cost 5 cents per fruit, or if you had to pay $1.05 for 4 apples instead of $1. I mean, let's not pretend that aggregate. I mean, even to raise the cost from $10 to $15 an hour, which I don't think there should be a federal minimum wage at all.
Of course not.
My minimum wage, because that's what pissed me off about working in the restaurant industry, is everybody telling me I needed to make $15 an hour. I was like, no. I can make $2.25 an hour. My money is on the tips. That's on me.
Watch Soul when he explains Soul and Maury Rothbard. Sit down and he explains exactly how minimum wage hurts the lowest earners.
Hurts the lowest earners. Because now all of a sudden, I mean, why is minimum wage in San Francisco the same as minimum wage in Iowa? Where fucking you can get a house for $400.
A free market means I can't steal.
Exactly. Free market would mean that I myself negotiate my, and that's what people didn't get. Like, I didn't mind. Now, when they raised my wage to $15 an hour, and they raised the fucking cook's wage to $15 an hour, I was like, halt the brakes. You guys want to retain cooks? Keep paying me $8. I'll make my money on the back end because I'm a good server, and you pay these motherfuckers $20. Because you cannot retain good dishwashers, good cooks, good anything, because they're making non-livable wages, especially in a place like LA. $15 an hour is you're basically covering rent. Or if you happen to live in a studio,
you're basically covering rent if you live with 4 other people.
Well, $1,500 a month, you could have a house.
$1,500 in LA?
No, you could have a house. That's it. That's what I meant. There'd be no food. You didn't pay for your utilities. You didn't pay for whatever else. You could probably find an apartment there, a studio for $1,100 in the right spot.
The ghetto.
Yeah, but I live there. I mean, like, yeah, it's ghetto. Like live in Hispanic ghettos because they take care of their shit. They're really pretty houses. They're a community.
I worked in Maryvale. Okay.
Yeah, to me that's where I always lived out there because I mean I had a house. I was growing weed out there. It's funny is I paid $2,500 for a month in Vegas for an 8-bedroom house with a waterfall, and that same thing in fucking in LA gets me a 3-bedroom house with a tiny garage. Like that's why the federal minimum wage doesn't fucking work. Free market capitalism is the only thing. It's inherently human.
But you can't steal.
And yeah, absolutely. That's the whole point. Because you can't stamp out greed, and the only way the greed works is in a world where everything's already set up in their favor. If this was true free market capitalism, a lot of these motherfuckers would have already failed. The fact that we say an airline can't go out of business, why? When the airline goes out of business, all the planes aren't destroyed. A new company comes around, buys all the... So we do it with oil tankers.
How much money is Tesla subsidized to?
Yes, but I would argue that when it comes to energy, because I'll play devil's advocate, right? We have a cow fart problem with methane, right? So they want to abolish beef.
We do?
Well, it is one of the most methane producing things in the world, and methane, unlike CO2, is not good for the environment, right? So they try to say, oh, we need to go out there and not eat beef anymore. Well, why? Why don't we subsidize these farms, these mega farms, not small farms, mega farms, where all their cow manure is in a methane producing factory. It's going to cost $10 million to get it started per mega farm, but then they'll be producing a shit ton of energy running off methane.
You do realize if you change the cow feed, they'd produce significantly less methane.
I also think if we had, once again, like we were talking about earlier, community-based farming. Truly organic. I mean, the cows, the chickens, these are fertilizer. If they were eating off of a 4-acre plot while you're growing on 4 other acres, next year you don't till, you let everything die after you cut it. So you pull your fruit, you let all the plant material die, and you switch the chickens and cows over there. Then you till in the chicken and cow shit over here. We'd have much more efficient farms.
So there are 4 mega processing plants in the country.
We were just talking about this too, yeah.
Right. Well, one of the regulations from the FDA is the inspector must have his own private bathroom.
Is that for real? Now,
For
can
real.
it be an outhouse?
No.
Fuckers, dude. Fuck you. Okay.
And that's the reason so many of these smaller processing places can't keep up.
In all fairness, have you seen what Wyoming just did? So now you can buy basically just a T-bone steak. You're a shareholder of the cow.
Right.
So now they get to bypass the USDA. Doesn't have to be checked, doesn't have to be water. No one's going to buy just a T-bone from these. You're probably buying a box that's going to come with the cuts you want, but now you're going to bypass all that garbage, and we wouldn't have to put down all the bovine, put down all this shit, because we can't process. So they didn't keep the elderly, because elderly's meat's going to go bad. They killed all the ones that were ready to go. So we had to put down all the things that were processable meat, kill them, and we had to bring in all the babies, because that's how it works. You got enough babies to fill in the next farm. If these farms would have been pretty much farm to table, and just through, I mean, if more states follow Wyoming suit, maybe Utah next. I mean, it's not going to work in a place like LA. Never would. How do you feed 14 million people?
My brother had 4 boys, okay? And he would go down to the auction, and him and whoever, his neighbor or friend, somebody he worked with, would buy a cow and have the cow slaughtered, have the food processed, put it in the freezer in his house. You get it cheaper. You get it cheaper per pound.
Way cheaper. And you got to have a deep freezer. And that shit lasts for a while. I'm killing a bear when I get back.
Why?
Because there's a bear fucking with the farm.
All right, because that meat's real greasy and stringy.
Not scrumptious. Up there, they're eating meat.
Greasy and stringy.
I don't know. Like, it's not bad up there. Bear's not bad.
See, like moose?
Scrumptious.
Sure.
I like
Moose is delicious.
Love moose.
You know what my favorite cut of moose is? Tongue.
I thought you were going to say dick for a second just because you're a little
Well,
foodie.
yeah, the cock is good too. But...
Cock meat sandwiches. Crazy for them. Crazy for cock meat sandwiches.
I
need a beer, drums.
What would you like?
I want to try that. That
Sapporo?
No, that Chimay.
You want to hit the Chimay?
Hell yeah. I haven't tried it yet. Like, this is actually my first time hitting this one. I love how he... Look at this. This is just a good fucking host. It's a nice chilled glass. You see that, Frost?
Who's a fucking classy guy, huh?
Classy as fuck.
This was courtesy of Mr. Caruso for my birthday.
Yeah, see, and I need to hang out with Caruso, but he didn't come over because he had 2 people pop at his work for Corona.
Yeah.
And he's scared. It's like, dude, come on.
You know what, though? Babies.
No, but babies are the ones that don't... Anyone under 45 is damn near 0.
Well, yeah, and remember, the baby's parents...
are nurses. So it's not like he's really putting them at risk. The parents are already in risky situations.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just sad. And I love Mikey, so it's fine. But it's just, I would have liked to see him.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go. I might go see him personally and just hang out with him myself.
Well, I had to laugh when I found out that your brother was the godmother and Mike was the godfather.
Yeah. My brother got to be godmother because she didn't have enough girlfriends to be godmother for the second daughter. And so Zach volunteered. She goes, "No, you can be godfather number 2." He goes, "No, I'll take godmother." Is that what you do with beers?
Funny as hell.
You sniff them?
I always sniff my beer, sir. How's the nose? What does it smell like?
I care about what it tastes like. No, I love it though, and so I was like, what am I, huh? I don't get to be godmother material, you bastards. I'm at least the most feminine out of all of them.
Well, she didn't name her Jerrica either.
Yeah,
so.
that's fucked up. Okay, anybody out there that's looking for a daughter's name, try Jerrica. Because it would be a tribute to your boy out here in red, white, and blue.
We should have just done this live.
You know what the sad part about these kind of podcasts are is Andy and my father can't even do them anymore because of their jobs. It's one of the saddest fucking things.
God forbid people saw us doing this.
Well, my dad's, somebody got fired that's a leftist at his school. Somebody was posting lefty shit.
How?
That's exactly what my dad says. Look, Jerek, if lefties are getting fired at my work for, because he's a teacher. Like,
yeah, but still, education
hilarious.
is the fucking domain of the left.
But it's Utah.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, so like they went for, but it's hilarious. He's like, look, I just can't be in your, and Andy was making fun of my dad, and I get it here with Andy. He goes, I can't do videos with you anymore. They just made us sign a thing now. I was like, you got to be like me and Eric, uncancelable.
You can cancel me. It's not going to do me
You
any
ain't going to do
harm.
it. Yeah, exactly. What are you going to do?
That's like when people say, well, I'll sue you.
Oh,
okay.
God. Get out of here. Sue me for what, you cunt?
Well, and I don't have anything, so.
You ain't taking jack anyways. Here's the thing about suing me. I would rather send all my money anonymously to 10,000 different people just so you couldn't get a fucking penny.
That's pretty beer, though, huh?
It is,
How
man.
dark that is.
Cheers again, Eric.
Skull. I love fucking Belgians.
Dude, best beers. That's the one country I want to visit that I haven't done yet. I'd just like to go on a Belgian beer tour.
Nice, dark, a little malty. Definitely got that Belgian yeast in there, though.
And what was the percent? You said 9.8?
I think it's 9. You got eyes, I have glasses on.
Wait, consumption of alcohol beverages impairs your ability to drive a car?
Says
Wait,
who?
what?
Says
the
who?
bottle. Or operate machinery? Nah. And may cause health problems? See, what?
See,
That's
now I'm
the-
still beer was good for
That's America, dude. That's America. Like, there's no other country that's posting government warnings. That's the funniest
Well, you know there's
thing.
a California warning in there that says it's harmful to
cancerous.
babies and
No,
shit.
it also says it's cancerous. It probably says it's Prop 65, that it has some phosphate in it that's caused... Get the... Look, how long do you want to live? These people would rather live in a box till they're 95 and they piss themselves than at least just live their fucking life and enjoy it.
What makes you think you'll be alive tomorrow?
I don't... There's no guarantee.
Memento mori. Live every day your best because
There's no
we are
goddamn
mortal
guarantee.
and will die.
I think that's the problem with people is they can't come to terms with their own morality. That you cannot sit here and say that...
We're a Christian country.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of people were raised under the you couldn't keep up with what Jesus said, so you're going to the devil.
Yeah. Yes.
And you fucking terrorized them.
Yeah,
I just try to be a better person today than I was yesterday.
and that's what I say when I work out, which I haven't done in about a year and a half, because I'm a fat slob who's just up living in the fucking the woods.
That's what we're going to call this. Two fat slobs
Two
who haven't
fat
worked out in
slobs.
forever.
Oh, yeah, it's a fear-based culture, and fear is easy to control.
Well,
A feared populace is so easy to
Well,
control.
what did I say before? They use fear to motivate and drive the herd. And then people like you and I are like, fuck you.
And then the herd looks at us like we're the psychos.
And they want to shame us, and we're like, fuck you.
Shame doesn't work. It's the only tactic that is legal. You shouldn't be able to coerce through government, shouldn't be able to coerce through the state, shouldn't be able to coerce in business, nothing. But shame. But if shame doesn't work, then shut the fuck up and keep it moving. So is this a weed vape or is this vape vape?
I can't do that weed shit you guys do, dude. It's like
You
fucking
guys, you
animal
fucking-
tranquilizer. Dude,
Well, that's the thing is they've made weed into these, this is tobacco, but they've made weed into these cute little fucking, there's nothing about essence of the herb in it. It's literally distillate, right? So if I'm making distillate, I take my marijuana and then I pump butane or CO2 or alcohol, not ethanol, but actually ethanol, yeah, like a grain. So it's a consumable alcohol, and you take off all the purities of it, and then you distill it. But then it has no flavor, right? So you have to save the terp profile to even make this shit.
Really?
So it comes out in two areas: the terp profile, the flavor, and the distillate. And so you just add a terp profile. It's like it's manufactured marijuana. It's sad. It's
here's the problem. When I smoke pot, the heavy stuff, the Thai stick and the Hawaiian, or 5%.
right. Old
You
school.
guys won't even grow anything for
No,
5%.
Hemp still comes out 5% and it's considered still hemp. Which is what a shit you guys wrecked now. Nowadays, I'm growing like fucking 19,
25 and
25.
30?
See, a lot of that shit's fake though. How are you getting 30% THC on a nug this big? That would mean that 1/3 of that nug is THC. It's all bullshit. So when I was getting my shit tested, back when it was California going from medical to recreational. You pay for your test, they give you a certain number, and they go, but we'll retest it for X and X fee, and it'll come out this much % higher. So you're paying a higher fee.
Yeah, but you get to put the tag on your product.
You're going to put a tag on your product, but it's not really that high. It's garbage. I mean, you go to if you actually talk to a Colorado dispensary and go, 25%, and the guy thinks you're talkable, he goes, nothing's 25%. I mean, 17, 18, 19, that's a normal thing. I mean, you're producing the trichromes on that motherfucker. You're not. It's mostly plant material.
That's 4 and 5 times
High.
what I was used to.
Yeah.
Okay? I was in Mexico with Glenn. And I made the mistake. This is years ago, so it's outside the window of send me to fucking whatever.
Yeah,
and I was in a foreign country. And I smoked some of his shit. And I spent 3 hours on the couch. I'll give you a better one. You know those hash capsules they make?
Yeah.
We're down there, and one year he brings down like 5 milligrams or something. And we're at a concert. I liked to smoke pot when I was younger. I was like fucking high priest of the cult. I had all the toys. Great time. Did a hash capsule. It was like 5 milligrams. Nice.
So
we were
pieced
high.
out, yeah.
Well, next year he brings them down, and he goes, here.
Hundreds.
The next day I did nothing but sleep.
Yeah.
I was like, how the fuck do you do this?
Great for your body. Yeah, it's a reset. If you're gonna do it that route. Now, the shit I'm making now.
I wanted to go down to the pool and drink margaritas with the wahinis and bikinis.
Instead, you're
couldn't get out of fucking bed.
That's the only time my mom said I looked visibly high. When it was that I ate Rick Simpson oil, so it's just pure THC, it's ethanol based. Pull it out, and I ate a gram of it, so 1,000 milligrams, and now it's fucking visibly high. But eventually, if it's a cancer-based thing, the guy that made it, Rick Simpson oil, he had cancerous lesions all over his face.
Yeah, he had melanoma.
Yeah, and he put it on the lesions, and he was good to go. I mean, it's a great thing, but you have to build your tolerance up. The shit I'm making now is like, I take the weed, and then I roll it in the wax, and then I sprinkle it in keef, and it's called Moon Rocks. And so I sold it to some guys, and they're like, dude, you put 4 people passed out in my bathroom with one nug. I was like, mission accomplished.
I was talking to Mikey, and Mikey was saying that, Mama.
Yeah.
And he was saying that he did the Rick Simpson oil, and he did like the rice grain under the tongue size one, slept for 18 hours.
Yep. But your body needs it. You're going into full repair mode. I mean, in THC, it's a fatty lipid, so it's out there absorbing shit in your body. It's actually, it is a medical property. Now, what we're doing now, like I said, the distillates, the smoking, now it's a party drug.
Well, it always was.
It always was a party, but I mean, it's a refined party drug.
The Cheech and Chong culture showed you
It's a party drug.
it was a party drug.
Yeah, but like I said, it's 4 or 5% back then.
Yeah.
You know, that concept of, whoa, man. I mean, I've never even met a pothead like that. You know, I would assume that Cheech and Chong were probably limited hangouts for a culture and hamming it up for the job.
Of course.
Like, so you're hamming it up for the look.
They were comedians. That was their shtick.
Exactly. And it worked. I mean, because what did everybody think of people back then? You watch Ozzy Osbourne, or you listen to Ozzy Osbourne, you do the shit, you're a goddamn monster.
My dad loved Cheech and Chong. And my dad didn't smoke pot.
They were comedians. They did a great fucking job.
They were hysterical. Oh. Hey, man.
Dude, for a dark beer, this is a smooth fucking 10%. Like, usually when I get a 10%er, it's bitter. It's a heavy. This is not at all.
Belgian instead of
Hey,
IPAs.
if any asshole's listening and wants to sponsor us, this is the fucking one. It smells like a Grand Cru.
It's a Chimay.
Fucking good.
Yeah, they're $12, $13 a bottle, something like that.
Not bad. Couple
Well, if
buddies
you're going to come home from work.
being romantic for me, buying me a 12 or 13 bottle. Okay.
Mikey bought that for my birthday.
Oh, Mikey. Okay. So, oh shit, I get shares.
I'd have given you the cigar too, but I gave it to Andrew.
Me and cigars, that's a waste for me. I'm a 1 or 2 puffer, and then because I don't touch tobacco. And now blunt, I'd have fucking chewed the shit out of that.
And again,
the Thai sticks.
I still subscribe to the whole non-aggression principle. As long as you don't fuck with me and you're not hurting anybody else, I don't give a fuck what you do.
Right. That's a good principle.
I don't have enough shit going on in my life. I have to worry about yours.
I think it in a free society, I mean, you see it in Salt Lake City, which is a red state. They have methadone spots. You could shoot up safely because they know if you're on the streets, these people are at fucking risk. They're saying you're going to cost more to the state. You're going to OD. You're going to do this. Not like someone's showing up to the hospital and paying the bill.
We were talking earlier about Tribes, which was a really good book if you want to read a good book. But there's another book, and I've given it away so many times I don't have it anymore. It's called Chasing the Scream. And the guy's name is Johan Hari. He's an Englishman, but I guess he's Norwegian or something. And it's all about America's drug war. It's an absolutely fascinating read. It's a great read. The heroin program in Switzerland. Okay? Now, you always hear Switzerland has a horrible heroin problem. They don't. Their heroin program, which they had aped in England and somewhere else, but they shut those down. At the end of the trial, when they were evaluating everything, they found out something really fucking interesting. People do drugs for one of two reasons. Either you like the drug.
Or you want to die.
No. Or you're healing some sort of inner pain. Okay, so you're self-medicating. In Switzerland, the deal was you could still go to work. You weren't labeled a junkie. You weren't a piece of throwaway society. You were just another citizen. And you would go to the clinic and shoot your dope. Clean needles, clean setting, clean heroin. None of the shit that's cut with
hot
fucking...
shots, yeah.
How long do you think the average person stayed addicted was?
Oh, shit. You want me to guess?
Mm-hmm.
6 months?
No.
A year and a half? Okay, so that was my actual year and a half.
18 months. And at the end of 18 months, they solved their fucking problems, pulled their head out of their ass, except for about 10% of the population who likes to shoot heroin.
Which you could say about anything. 10% of the population might be addicted to drinking, might be addicted to gambling, might be addicted to booze. Yeah. 10% of the population. Isn't that the... South Park made that joke.
Did they?
Yeah, with the idle clickers. That they don't make their money from the people playing the free game. They make a majority of their money from the 10%ers who are addicted to that feeling, that game, that...
Oh, yeah.
So your money, even in alcohol, in every industry, that's a vice industry, is the 10%ers.
That was the same motive behind Facebook. You get the endorphin hit from the likes.
Exactly. Well, and now it's also the anger. The engagements from the anger. You get the endorphins from the likes, from the retweets, the whatever else, but the engagement is through anger, through whatever keeps you, or now confirmation bias. You want to be affirmed, and it's your little echo chamber, and you feel like you're contributing, you're doing whatever. These are social programming under the guise of what, fun?
Because nobody watches TV anymore.
They watch their... Now it's the worst. It's these fucking Netflixes, these Hulus, these podcasts. I mean, it really boils down to boredom. I mean, what does someone do with their time? And there's nothing wrong with downtime, you know.
You're not doing anything to survive anymore. You're
No,
not
that's
chopping
true.
wood. You're not hunting. You're not farming.
And your survival is going to a job and buying groceries. I mean, fucking...
Why do you think porn is so fucking huge?
I think
Sit
porn...
around and pull on their dicks because they got nothing better to do.
I think porn is a definite psyop.
You think it's the Jews?
Yes. I think that... I mean, they even said it... back then, it was way for Jews to fuck Gentile girls. I mean, it is a... There's a reason why we don't have to verify our age for porn, but we got to verify our age for everything the fuck else. I am not a status controlist at all. I think every man should be able to live as free as he wants. But if something's open and free on the internet and it's 18 plus, you should have to sign up with the credit card. Not be charged, but you should have to, because credit cards are for adults only, you should have to sign up with the credit card just to ensure your adulthood. I think that would, I mean, the detriment to these kids, I mean, fuck, my cousin's 13 years old, and some of the things he says while we're playing video games, I'm like, you shouldn't know this, man. You shouldn't know this.
Well, dude, how many of these girls were practicing anal because they didn't want to get pregnant?
Oh, that's religion. That's Mormonism. I mean, how many of these Mormons...
But I'm talking 13, 14, 15-year-olds.
Or you got the other side of the spectrum where, like, my dad's working in inner city schools, and girls are going, did I get pregnant? I had anal, my ass is getting bigger. There's such nobody wants to have to talk with their kids, so everybody pushes it off to the state and goes, educate my children on their bodies, please, Mr. State.
Well, because nobody wants to spend time with their kids.
No, well, yeah, absolutely. Well, no, it's the responsibility. That nobody wants to even, once they come home from work and they do this, where the fuck did the concept of just giving birth and then all of a sudden you just get a pass along, does nobody want to see their kid thrive?
You do realize you're just cattle on a tax farm, right?
Oh, here? Okay, that's what I love. When people talk about concentration camps, how they were stamped with a serial number. What the fuck's your social security? You weren't supposed to need it. You were supposed to need it to get a job. You weren't supposed to need it to go get a bank account. You weren't supposed to need it to be checked and balanced. It was supposed to be for retirement.
You know, when Wilson was president, he sold everybody's social security.
Yep, and but you're a conspiracy theorist. That's why we have.
I'm not a conspiracy. I'm a crazy person.
We have social security numbers because now we can forward project our tax revenue.
You're traded.
Yes, you are. You are a traded entity. Because what does the average American make over their lifetime? I mean, so you could literally trade a person's, like, we have enough, it's shares, stockholders, whatever the fuck you want to call our little stupid number, we have enough to back it, because you're eventually going to produce enough to cover, which isn't working. That's why it's, this concept of a constantly growing economy is archaic. I'm a free market capitalist. It doesn't need to constantly be growing. You don't need to constantly show growth. Your company doesn't need to constantly be growing. The economy's GDP doesn't need to keep going up exponentially. Eventually, there has to be a point when what is sustainable.
Next, you're going to tell me that the stock market is just a Ponzi scheme.
Here's the thing, though. That Ponzi scheme is being manipulated right now by a bunch of fucking millennial nerds who are just playing the game. They love Trump. And they realize, wait a minute, there's a lot of money in this fucking game just to make it. The country was going, at the height of coronavirus, no unemployment for 2 or 3 months, our stock market's almost rebounded. With our second quarter hasn't even come, our numbers are gonna fucking suck.
5%.
Of what?
5% growth. That was the last fucking number released.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm down with it. Like, it's an all in AI now. So you have people tell you.
D-Wave. You into D-Wave?
What's that?
D-Wave is that quantum AI.
That's what it is. It's a AI that executes in fractions of a second, and people think fractions of a second doesn't matter.
No, trillions of computations in a fraction.
In a fraction of a second.
Yeah,
people think that doesn't make a difference, but you're talking fractions of a penny between when that thing executes and when a human being gets to understand and execute. That's fractions of a penny over thousands of shares, millions of shares, billions of shares. It's tons of money. It's also why I don't think the stock market can ever really collapse. It is now its own entity.
They'll never let the stock market
It can't collapse. It's run by an AI now. The stock market is literally uncollapsible.
Too big to fail.
It's also not able to. This thing can liquidate, can inject money. It is an AI that can literally ensure that it never fails.
That only works while you're still on a fiat currency.
And you think we're ever going to go back to a gold standard or a silver standard? No.
Now, don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't buy silver,
nope.
But it's cheap.
We play the devil's advocate. Cryptos are damn near that version. Proof of stake is damn near silver.
I don't know anything about crypto.
That's my game.
Dude, I tried to get you to fucking run my editing software that I can't figure out, and you can't figure out.
They made a stupid version. They made a smart editing software that's fucking retarded. It should just have a cut tool. There should be a picture of a scissor, and you just go in and scissor the clip you want and add the clip. The fact they have to do all this runaround garbage, ins and outs. Look, they're trying to make professional editing software for people who don't fucking need it.
Exactly.
You should be able to go through and just cut, add, couple transitions, and you're fucking good. But they make these super smart fucking softwares because they justify its cost.
No, because the guy that wrote the program is 20 years old and only speaks geek.
And that's
I run into this problem all the time with fucking computers. I understand that you know what you're saying, but then you tell me it's intuitive, but we have completely different brains.
I went to film school. The least intuitive editing program is that. What's that editing program?
Pro Director 365.
Yeah, Pro Director 365. Fuck you. I clicked your ins. I clicked your outs. None of them worked. There's no simple add and drop. There's no transitions. You literally they made the dumbed down version. It was like an Apple Pro dumbed down version to pretend like it's smarter. You guys fucking suck. Give me a pair of scissors and a copy and paste and a couple of transitions. It should be a thing that costs you $5.
I would use the software if I knew how to use the software. And you refuse to give me the old person version of, you do this. You do A, B, C, D, E, we're done.
That's what they need. They need to have one with the guy with glasses. You know that's the geek version. And then they have the guy with white hair and go, that's this version of the fucking one I want.
That's my guy.
Yeah, give me that fucking one. No, it's because they tried to pretty these up, but no pro is ever going to use that. So they made these.
And yet it's one of the most popular software.
That's what I meant.
Things on the planet.
So it's like, because if you're a pro, you're using Adobe. Because it goes right into Adobe After Effects. You can edit in After Effects and it goes right back to your Adobe platform. That's built worse than fucking
when I went on the internet to find editing software, I went through the reviews. Because I'm one of those fucking people who reads reviews.
You should.
This is great software. This is so easy to use. And I'm like, it's a fucking load of shit.
It's a load of shit. That was not easy to use. I even looked up what your hotkeys were, and you could allow it to be imported and didn't have any real fucking hotkeys. Once again, fuck you. Whatever fucking software that is. What, Pro 90 Pro something you said?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter because it won't. And you can't own it. You have to rent it.
Oh, that's where they're getting though. There's no such thing as ownership anymore. You don't own your John Deere. Have you seen these farmers?
You don't own your jeans.
Have you seen these fucking farmers though having to buy 40-year-old tractors because they're the only ones they could do maintenance on?
Really?
I'm not shitting you, because John Deere is a software, and so if you want to do maintenance on your John Deere now, you have to go to a John Deere maintenance person. So they have to buy older
How
fucking.
the fuck am I going to get a giant tractor to the fucking software guy?
They bring them out. So it's just happening with your cars too, because now the stuff in your Chrysler, the stuff in your fill in the fucking blank with your car is now their proprietary software for their computer. Fuck you. Give me an open source car then. Let me do that shit myself.
Well, you know, I've been saying this for years because I'm old. And I grew up in the age where Dad bought a car. And then 8 or 10 years later, you came of age.
Gave you the car.
And taught you how to work on it.
Oh, okay.
Because you could. No computers when I was growing up.
No, but even the 01s. I mean, my Jeep has a computer in it, but I could
91.
still majority of the fucking. But my Jeep's an 01, and
Yeah.
I could still do a majority of the maintenance on it. The only good thing about those early computers is you could plug a diagnostic machine into it and figure out exactly what the problem is.
Well, see, now mine's a 91, the Desert Rat, right? That old Isuzu Trooper that everybody asks
Classics.
me why I keep.
Because it's a fucking. You can fix it for life.
It'll be 30 years old next year.
No shit.
Yeah, it's a 91.
Fucking my age almost. God damn.
I like it. It's the best four-wheeler I've ever owned. The thing will climb fucking walls. I can work on it on the days that my back doesn't decide to fuck with me because I'm old. And it's relatively simple, but it's... Now, don't get me wrong. The only reason it has a computer is because it has the starter, which is HEI injection bullshit. And if I could get that out of there, I would. And I'd go back to points and fucking plugs tomorrow.
Right. It's the only thing that if ever an EMP ever hit, all these fucking new cars aren't ever going to start, and some asshole will be able
That's
to
not
go
going
in.
to start.
No, but a 1987 Forerunner, all you got to do is put a new spark plug in that shit, and you're good to go.
Shit, your spark plugs won't even fry. You just got to change the distributor. No, your alternator. Your alternator's got a chip in it.
Oh, motherfuckers. That's why you need Faraday cages, and put one fucking piece of each of your equipment in a fucking Faraday cage.
You know what? I saw a guy who was talking about Faraday cages, and he says, we did all the research. Get a metal filing cabinet.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's all you need. You don't need a special mesh, this, that. He goes, get a metal filing cabinet. You'll be fine.
Well, the only Faraday cage I'll buy is those little pocket phone Faraday cages.
They have this?
Yeah, it's a phone case. You slide that motherfucker in. It's a Faraday cage. You pull your shit out. You go right in. I mean, how are they busting all these motherfuckers now? They're like it's coronavirus tracing. They're tracking your app data. They're seeing who you're with. I mean, do you see what Cuomo posted?
Mm-mm.
That fucking fruit. Fucking not against gays, just douchebag fruit. And then
Sort of like the word fag when it meant.
They ain't taking fag from me. Never taken fag from me, because I've never meant it in a derogatory against homosexuals ever in my life. Fag is what I call my douchebag friends when they fucking buy me one taco instead of a chalupa. Okay, that's a fag right there.
A fag is a guy who couldn't cut it.
Yeah.
He's a fucking weak tit suckle.
That's a communist. That's what communists really are. They're people that admit it, that they cannot cut it in a free market society, so they'd rather just give up their liberty, give up everything else, so they could have their fucking, I feel good, I got my life, fuck you.
But you know what? For us, it was a motivational tool,
Douchey Cuomo posted this little meme, and it's what you don't answer, and it's a call from your ex, and what you do answer, and it's a coronavirus tracer. I mean, if you got an Android phone, you got, if you have an Android phone right there, you go to your settings, check Google, you have a contract tracer app on there now. I'm not joking. After we're done with this podcast, I'll show you.
Okay.
We'll go to your fucking, we'll go to your Google settings. I mean, go press settings on your Android phone, go to Google, and right at the tip top is contract tracer.
For COVID.
For COVID. And so, yeah, exactly. But they don't tell you that if you only have a one bedroom apartment and one bathroom with 4 people, that if you pop positive, they'll pull you out of the house. Because you have to have your own bathroom to quarantine. This doesn't affect rich people. So if you need to quarantine, you can quarantine in your own section of your house as long as you have your own bathroom. But if you're a poor family with 4 people in your house with 1 bedroom or 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, and anybody pops in your household, they'll remove you from your household.
You did see that the CDC released numbers again today. 0.02.
Yeah, that's what it's been. It's been that for a while, and that's now if they actually that's symptomatic.
No, yeah. Well, that's
right.
That's infected. That's the death rate.
Right, but they have not counted. There's the fucking Stanford doctor that came out and said there's probably already 150 to 200 million people worldwide that have had it, not the 10 million they're reporting. If you factored in asymptomatic, we're looking at 0.01.
Yeah, well, this guy did the math, and it was 77 million cases. I don't know. I'll show you later.
But like I'm telling you, if you factor in asymptomatic, and now they had to come out and say that asymptomatic did not spread the virus.
That's right.
So if asymptomatic doesn't spread the virus, that means a lot of motherfuckers have already had it.
And if you're asymptomatic and you've already had it, you don't need the vaccine.
That's the thing is this vaccine fucking garbage. You can call me an anti-vaxxer all you faggots want, because you're not I'll homeschool my kids. There's no fucking way you're putting in a hepatitis B. You're not putting 80 shots in my infant child.
HPV.
That's
HPV
never happening.
vaccine is
never
fucking horrible.
Happening. Never happening. Like luckily I don't have kids yet, so I don't have to fight the state on those issues. But
you know the broad who said that Fauci stole all her research on AIDS?
Oh, because he fucked up so bad on AIDS.
No,
but I didn't know there's some girl that said that.
A woman. She's right around my age.
She can't be a girl still. I gotta call her a woman.
No, I'm an ageist. She did all the fucking legwork and put everything together, and she was working for them at the time.
Yeah, but Fauci dropped the ball and said this was going to be a worldwide virus. He said AIDS was going to take over everybody. It was going to cross over to the heterosexual community. Shocker, only hit the drug users and the gays.
That was for the money.
Well, for the cash, for these fucking research.
Because he wanted to make the vaccine for AIDS.
I mean,
that's where the money is.
Have you read Germs, Genes, and Warfare?
Oh.
There's a very valid point about why religion had said homosexuality was a sin is because it does spread the most diseases.
Well, the lifestyle itself is fucking...
It's degenerate. I'm totally for gays. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the act of sex among homosexuals is one of the dirtiest forms of sex. It's the blood-inducing. It tears. It is so when AIDS was supposed to jump, it never did. And when you have needle sharing, though it only affected... See, it's easy to see. Like, why the Bible came about is saying these things were degenerate is because their behavior bred things that other people didn't get. So you got, chlamydia, the clap, any of these fill in the blank from, there was no condoms back then. Occasionally you cut out lamb intestine.
That's not till way later.
That's way later. Man. Exactly. So it makes sense. So Germs, Genes, and Warfare is like, it makes sense why religions came about because in our early stages of human society, we were sex cults. We were female-derived sex. So our leaders was the matriarch.
The ISIS cults.
Exactly. But I mean, all of us were. The Viking all were matriarch. And then when you started to have these, when you compact humans into 1 million person cities, that was the first time that diseases were able to spread. That we actually started having these issues, and then people started going, maybe this is wrong, and then you had a whole new religion come about and go, yes, this is wrong, now it's a matriarch. That's when you started seeing nothing but single, like you had the Zeuses, you had the matriarchs only, the one god presiding over all others, because hey, in the eyes of before science, if you only had observation...
That doesn't work, though, because the Romans, the Greeks, they were all pantheists, they were all boy bangers, and they didn't have these issues.
I wouldn't say all of them. I mean, it was
acceptable.
It was
in
acceptable.
The culture.
You were a...
Remember, the Spartans would take the boys when they were 10 and bring them to the male camp.
They didn't graduate until they were 14.
As men.
It was 7.
It was 7.
Hagogi started at 7. You had to graduate the Hagogi, and then you got to go on.
Right, and then you went to the male camp.
Yes.
And this happened.
Sad because I really love Spartan culture. I love Greek culture as general.
But you didn't have the rampant disease that you do now.
They didn't have 1 million person cities.
They were pretty populous.
Very populous, but not as populous as people living on top of each other. And maybe hygiene mattered. I don't know much about Spartan culture versus when we got into, when you look at the Gauls, when you look at the Brits, they were dirty. I mean, shit, we had aqueducts in Athens, and yet when that shit fell, it didn't pop back again until late British history.
Well, we lost the Roman formula for waterproof concrete.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But it makes a big difference. Hygiene makes difference. Why do you think all religions say wash feet, wash hands? Why do Muslims wash themselves? Why does every religion about cleansing? It's because hygiene was, they couldn't put their finger on it.
But you know where soap comes from?
Glycerin. You talking about animal fat?
Did you watch Fight Club?
Yeah. My brother said I got a credit because they're fat shaming me now because for the first time in my life I'm not just fucking jacked. And they were saying I got a credit in Fight Club for being the blob they brought out to make soap.
But you remember when he's explaining to him that they would burn the heroes at the side of the river. And the fat would mix with the wood ash, and the woman who was washing her clothes further down the river got her clothes cleaner. Because they figured out that the lye in wood ash and the fat
made soap.
Made soap. And so
that's just pure observation.
Well, but that's science.
Wait a minute. Why did Africa not have any great observers like that? Huh. Why hasn't Islam had any great observers like that?
Well, I was going to say the Africans were probably getting eaten by lions or crocodiles.
Well, then how the hell did we tame them all?
I don't know.
How the hell did we tame, fucking woolly mammoths? What else? We tamed the goddamn tundra.
Oh, we didn't tame them. We drove them off cliffs and ate them.
That's good enough, right? That's what Indians were doing in Buffalo. You're doing a buffalo run, you're driving those motherfuckers off a cliff and you eat them.
That's why the cliff is called Buffalo Jump.
Didn't know that. Didn't know that.
North Dakota, South Dakota, somewhere up there.
Oh, this shit with them wanting to destroy the monument of fucking Mount Rushmore. Get the fuck out of here.
No, my favorite was Frederick Douglass.
Dude, they already ripped it down.
Yeah.
Gone. And it's got to be because they're stupid, because everything was copper. So do you just think it's a white man and you have no concept of your history? They ripped down, they didn't do that. They also ripped down, I think it was the 54th or 56th Regiment, which was the regiment that Lincoln...
They defaced it. Was that the black one in Boston?
All black regiment.
That's in Boston.
All black regiment that was freed. And they knew if they were ever taken hostage by the South, they would all be killed. They fought valiantly. I mean, like, everyone, if I say...
That was the movie.
If I say I supported the South, because, I mean, I like Frederick, I'm not Frederick, I like Jefferson Davis. I like the concept that we were a union, that federalism never dictated to the states.
Why did the South want to secede?
Because they were basically being, when we first came as a union, we all said we are doing this as a group of individual states that want to be recognized. We're using it for the defense of the union.
What does the Constitution say?
What do you mean?
The Constitution says when your government becomes tyrannical, you have the right to overthrow your government.
Oh, absolutely, right? Yes. It is whatever, anything not directly given to the Constitution is left up to the states.
Well, that's the 10th Amendment, separation of powers.
But these amendments were written because no state would ratify the Constitution until all these amendments were put in. Every single state would, before a few states joined right away, but every other state had to go, wait a minute, we want to make sure that these things are protected and our states' rights are protected.
But what did the North do to the South that drove them to secede?
Taxation. Trying to tax them 90%.
Why?
What do you mean why? Because they were pissed that they were fucking giving all the goods, and they were supplying the entire North with their food, and not allowed to make money.
Almost. Europe was a direct beneficiary of the mills of the North. Lace, ribbon, cloth, all the cotton, all the stuff that was produced in the South.
It's funny because the North had all the slave ships.
But the North also had all the mills.
But they had all the slave ships. All these motherfuckers, overtaxation is what drove the South away.
Work with me here. So, you grew cotton. Cotton's a fucking bitch. You have slaves that pick your cotton because Eli Whitney
hadn't made the cotton gin yet.
There you go. You have to sell your products to the mills in the North. You don't have a choice. Excuse me. So the French and the English came over to the South and said, I give you a better deal. You sell your stuff to me directly. We'll cut out the middleman. I'll give you a better price than they're giving you. And you take the money and you smile. And the North said,
uh-oh.
What? I don't fucking think so. You will not, the end of the free market, you will not sell your products to them. You must sell your products to us for us to process to send it to them.
I mean, when Fort Sumter was taken over, they have every right to defend themselves.
But that's the Revolutionary War. Fort Sumter's in Maryland, right?
No,
that's the Star Spangled Banner.
No, is that not Virginia? Am I drawing a different fucking name? I might be what? Yeah, fucking A. Why? It's the drinking. Fucking. I thought Fort Sumter was what? I'm pretty sure Fort Sumter was.
I'm old. I got CRS.
I'm pretty sure Fort Sumter is when they took over their base because it was their base, and then they kicked out all the Northern troops, and the North was like, "Hey, we cannot give up like that is a very important." I mean, you think
because it guarded the.
You think if California secedes, federal government will let it happen? San Diego port, San Francisco port, fucking the fishing port of Northern California, it ain't ever getting let go. Actually, toss me a cube, Eric. Oh, speaking of which, these Lifetime things are fucking sweet. I need to be buying me one of those.
Dude, I told you it was $97 at the
Walmart. Fucking Arizona heat, man. I mean,
hot out here.
Gorgeous winters, but dog shit summers.
But that was the whole, as I understand it, that was the reason you had a civil war.
Yeah, it was a taxation. But if you ever said that, it's over slavery. Look, yeah. Do you think that slavery would have?
They were phasing it out anyway.
Exactly. Do you think slavery would have existed? Because a lot of these people in the South were actually abolitionists when they first resigned. But do you think that after the cotton gin, it was profitable to keep men picking your cotton?
Do you know how expensive it is?
Exactly. Food. Why after the Civil War?
Food, housing, clothing,
all these
children.
motherfuckers were freed. I mean, read Booker T. Washington. I mean, he, as a 6-year-old freed slave, he fucking left. He noticed that everybody that was a freed slave knew nothing else, and they went to work right back on the plantations they were just freed from.
Sharecroppers.
He fucking left and went out, built the Tuskegee Institute, of fucking like the Tuskegee School, and fucking started as a 6-year-old freed slave, sweeping. He was sleeping under a staircase, was sweeping up to help clean up. By the time he's a man, he made the most predominant. And you know what happened when he made that school? He made all black students, because it's an all black school. It didn't matter, because people were sending their kids from all over. So
that's
northern,
racist.
so yeah, of course. So northern black kids their parents were sending their kids to this college. He made everybody do hard labor, not hard labor, but clean. You had to be. There was no janitor. That you did the gardening, you did everything. And he had the parents were sending their kids, and they're like, "Well, no, I'm paying you. I want my kid to not have to do that." He goes, "You don't understand. Without these foundations, without a respect for hard work, this education is garbage."
Without any sweat in the game?
Exactly. That's why Booker T. Washington would be on it. You think that if push came to shove, you think Martin Luther King is on the side of Lil Wayne, who's saying, "I fuck bitches, my nigga MLK would be proud of me"? No. Like, have you ever seen that Boondocks episode?
I've seen every Boondocks episode. It's one of my favorite shows.
Where Martin Luther King wakes back up from his coma to see all these, and he goes, "You niggas," and goes on that fucking rant about it. Like, there's Chris Rock even made the joke. He said he had to try it in so many different comedy venues before that joke hit, that there's niggas and there's black people. I mean, my business partner's on a res up north. There's res rats. You know, the difference between the white community, and everybody gets on us about it, and Asian community and the Jewish community is we call our lower levels trash. Everybody else goes, "You call your people trash." Yes, because we aspire to something. In the black community, if you're speaking well and you're going to college, you're called being Tom. White. You're an Uncle Tom. You're a coon. Look what Snoop Dogg just called those people just because they disagree with it. The Coon Squad.
What?
You didn't see that?
No.
So he did a Brady Bunch thing with Candace Owens, Larry Elder, and the two black twins that do it. It's all of them. It's like, and he called
the Hodge twins.
Yeah, Hodge twins, and called them the Coon Bunch. And then Candace Owens sent a photo back. She goes, "If I'm the Coon Bunch, what are you?" And it's Snoop Dogg with his arm around Trump. It's like, how can you, the audacity? No, the twins commented. He goes, "Hey, could you tag us in this? It'd actually do good for our thing." Because the audacity of these motherfuckers, that's the problem. Is you guys, the black community glorify, and that's why if you say the black community has a culture problem, you're racist. Fuck you. There's not a problem with blacks. There's not a lot of my friends are like, and what am I trying to get things? I'm not going to name any of you guys, but a lot of my friends are black. A lot of film school friends, a lot of people I only film with are black. Some of my deepest friends are black. But you know what the difference is? They're just hard workers. They're good men. They're great husbands. They're good people. They're men if push comes to shove. But if all of a sudden, you know, oh, you support a white person, you Uncle Tom, you're speaking smart, you're speaking white. The fuck out of here.
Larry Elder has this documentary out, Uncle Tom.
Really? I said I just got introduced to him like a week and a half ago. I gotta watch that shit.
Larry Elder is great.
Genius of a man.
No, he's just a man, but he doesn't have his head up his ass.
Wouldn't you call? I think any man that can think critically is a genius.
Well, then fuck, that would make us geniuses.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yes, I'm not saying that on the spectrum of Einstein. I'm not saying I'm sitting out here fucking E equals MC squared. What I'm saying is critical thought is the most important thought for a man.
Son, I've known you. You can't even figure out that K equals FC squared. The great meme I saw the other day, but I didn't put up on the internet. A little racist, but funny as fuck.
K equals FC squared, huh? You fucking idiot. You fucking idiot. I didn't catch it until after I started saying it in my head. I was like, oh, you idiot.
He tells a story about his dad who's not his dad. The man who raised him, right? And the guy who raised him didn't know who his father was. When he was 14, he was put out on the street, and he became a worker for Pullman, the trains, because they would hire blacks. And when he went, he was a Marine, so 50s, maybe early 60s, he left the South because he had been all over the country on the trains, and he goes, I want to go to California. California's nice, and they were nicer to him there. But when he got to California, he still had to go into black entrance, and he still couldn't find a job. And so Larry Elder's father had worked 2 or 3 jobs every day of his life. And Larry Elder and his father got into an argument, and they didn't talk for 20 years. And finally, they sat down and they talked, and his old man said, well, what was the problem? And he goes, well, you were too hard on me. And he goes, that was your biggest fucking problem? Let me explain to you how life really was. It's a super great interview. Larry Elder has fully removed his head from his ass. He's a human being, but there are very few of us out there. So when he talks, I listen. When Soul talks, I don't give a fuck what color they are.
No.
They make sense.
I'm an ideology man. Yeah. I'm a stoicism man. If you're a man above all else, I would try to emulate you.
Well, you did service time, right?
Yeah, 4 years.
Okay. So, when you were in the service, there were...
I had nothing but bad leaders.
It's a dog barking at me.
Probably Andy's ass getting there. I had nothing but bad leaders.
Right, but you had...
The guy right above me...
White guys you couldn't stand and black guys you still talk to?
Oh, God, yeah. Actually, I was lucky. Everybody on my ship I liked. We were the oldest ship in the Navy. But in combat, like the combat unit, the OSs and the CTs and the ETs, I still talk to all of them.
What ship were you on?
USS Cleveland, the oldest ship in the Navy.
You're not going to give a shout out to your ship?
USS Cleveland, LPD-7, baby! It actually got decommissioned a couple years back.
Did it?
Yeah, actually when I got my orders from A school, they gave me my orders, and they're like, LPD-7, hopefully that bitch gets decommissioned soon. And I was like, that's my introduction? It was a terrible ship, but one of my best friends on there died in Afghanistan, because my rate does special forces too, because you're basically crypto communications.
Right, you're intel.
Yeah, deciphering emails and shit like this. Like, you're also what I hate. You're NSA. You're other things that I don't like.
You're a big brother.
Yeah, exactly. And, but you're compartmentalized, so you don't think you're doing anything wrong. Like, I was actually supposed to be in planes collecting emails and phone calls from the British. Well, they told me this in A school. I'm collecting emails and phone calls of the British population, while British planes are collecting phone calls and emails from the United States, and we swap information. We're not spying on our citizens. No. Britain's spying on us, we're spying on them, and we share information. It's fucking sick. It pissed me off back then, and I just didn't really realize it. But the point of the thing, my best friend was a really great man. He died in Afghanistan. Died in Germany, technically, because his heart stopped beating in Germany. Because they sent him to a hospital there.
Blown up in Iran?
No, shot.
Iraq?
Shot. He was a Navy SEAL team. Shot in Afghanistan and then shipped. Great man, Chris Pike, and I've actually met other people outside that actually knew him. I mean, it was a type of. They don't give a fuck about you. He was on an army base, and a lot of people respect him because he was Navy. But he was the only people that was not taking shit, trying to ask for more resources, trying to make sure that people survived. And sure enough, they were under-resourced, and his whole fucking team got wiped. And he was one of them that went.
Were you Bush or Obama?
Neither. Me?
Clinton?
Oh, you mean when did I serve?
Yeah.
All Bush. It's funny because Dickhead Cheney came to visit our base, and it was $500 to actually go see his speech for fucking service members.
What?
I'm not joking. $500 to go to his thing. It was $20,000 for a plate if you wanted to go eat at his table. So other people, like, it's $500 just to go see his little douchebag speech. I was like, you want to charge veterans at 32nd Street Naval Base in Coronado? Like, fuck you. That's why I stopped voting. Literally, when I got out and it was McCain or Obama, I was like, because I haven't voted in a long time. Everybody goes, why didn't you vote? I go, I vote right here. Like, the whole point of the Constitution is you leave me alone, I leave you alone, we respect each other. My rights are not ordained by the government. I'm not religious. My rights are ordained by my creator. Fill in the blank of your creator. Big Bang, God, random evolution, simulation. If this is a fucking video game, I have rights as a man just to exist. As long as I'm not fucking with you, perfect. I have rights of free enterprise.
Your white privilege is showing.
Yeah, dude, I've had a chick, I told you, maybe I didn't. One of my old friends, black chick, I said I didn't agree with the BLM movement. She was calling me cracker, whitey, ginger, and one other one I can't remember. And I was like, look, I just don't agree with your movement. I'm not saying that I don't agree with Black Lives in general. Just your movement is Marxist.
But she's a Zombot drone.
She screenshot that one comment, not all the terrible things she said to me. Screenshotted my one comment and tried to blast it to all of her friends and all my friends and try to paint me as a racist. I was like, this is why I'm done with you motherfuckers. Done. Like, I have no respect for, and like you said, no life matters. Not one.